If you're used to getting up and heading to the office every day, working from home can be a real nightmare. Most of the advice you'll see about productivity will encourage you to set up a separate office space in your house or establish some standard working hours. None of that worked for me. In this episode of the Hard Money Minute, I'm going to share a simple tool and an easy technique to prevent yourself from wasting your most valuable resource. And of course, that's your time. We all start every morning with 24 hours. If you allot 6 hours to sleep, that leaves 18 hours of life to live every day. Now, you might be asking yourself, hey, I sleep more than 6 hours, so what do I do? Well, I'm going to steal a line from Arnold Schwarzenegger here. Look, just sleep faster. It's that simple. Every day, you get to make a decision about what you're going to fit into those 18 hours. The problem is that most of the time, we don't really think about this actively, and we don't make an active decision with our time. And as a result, you go through the flow and nothing really gets done. So I use this daily exercise to make sure that I'm in control of my life and in control of that day, right? So it all starts by creating a tool. Now, this is going to look a little bit different for everybody, but it'll consist of 2 separate lists. Things that you do every day and things that you do every week, right? And then from there, I'm going to divide that list into 3 separate categories. I've got personal fulfillment, work life, and leisure. Really simple. Now, personal fulfillment for me includes, feeding my relationships, my spiritual life, and my body. This is the stuff that matters most. This is the first stuff that you're going to that you want to concentrate on, all right? So my list, it includes spending 30 minutes alone with my wife every day, 30 minutes with each of my kids, prayer and meditation, calling friends and family members, stuff like that. You're going to make sure that your daily prep falls in this category. You want to put that on your list, all right? So for our work life, think in terms of activities. We're not necessarily talking about very specific items, more so like prospecting, marketing, networking, bookkeeping, answering emails, returning phone calls. You don't have to get too detailed. There's going to be time for that later, right? So then finally, there's your leisure time. This is stuff like networks, video games, social media, stuff like that. So once you've made your list, we're almost there, right? Now go back to that list and assign an amount of time, like a time block to that. For me, like spending time with my kids, I want to get 30 minutes with each of them separately. So I'll put that on there. Spending time with my wife, 30 minutes. Going for a run. I want to say 30 minutes, but maybe it's 15, right? But whatever that is, get a time block associated with it. Think about the time it's going to take you to set up and end that activity so that you can transition into the next one. So once that's complete, next I want you to create a spreadsheet. You can go to Google Sheets or an Excel spreadsheet, whatever. But it's going to basically be your calendar for the day. You start at the time that you wake up, end at the time you go to bed, and then break each hour into 15-minute increments. Finally, you're going to take your list and put it into your calendar. It's really simple. You just fill in the time blocks and then, start with the stuff that's personal fulfillment, because again, that's the most important stuff in your life, and then move on to your work life and finally your leisure. I print a new list every morning and fill it out. This is an example. There you go. This is my list for today. I've got each 15-minute increments filled out. And then I keep my old schedule. So if I want to go back and say, hey, look, I budgeted 30 minutes to do this item and it's really taken me an hour and a half. Hey, maybe you're going to make an adjustment. Likewise, if you find that you're budgeting a half hour for something and it takes you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get done, hey, make an adjustment. You also want to include time to rest, read a book, take a break. All of that stuff is really important to have a well-rounded life. After a few days, you won't believe how fulfilled and productive you've become.